Today we're going to try Firehouse Subs' new prime rib steak sandwich. That's this one right here. Prime rib steak is new to them. They do have a steak sub already, but it's kind of like, it's almost like Steak-umm quality. It's like, not to be mean, but it's like shaved little pieces of steak. And this is like slices of prime rib. So this is supposed to be, you know, the be-all end-all of steak essentially. And it cost me $8.99 for this medium sub, which is approximately about 8 inches. And it has provolone, melted provolone, caramelized onions, garlic mayo or garlic aioli, depending on if you want to be fancy, and mustard. And that's, lettuce and tomato as well. And that's the whole sandwich: steak, cheese, lettuce, tomato, and some sauces, which honestly is exactly what I'd probably want. It's a hot sandwich, it's toasted. So let's get into it. This sounds really great to me. I'm not a big Firehouse Subs guy. I've maybe been to Firehouse Subs like 5 or 6 times in my whole life. I did a review of the New York steamer, which was okay, maybe a little skimpy. This one seems like it's got a decent amount of meat on it, so I can't deny them that. And $8.99 is not too terrible of a price for a sub this size. So let's jump into it and see what it tastes like, because it certainly smells good. I can tell you that much. Let's just take a bite. Ow. Now I'm starting to question why I don't go to Firehouse Subs more. I really love this sandwich. This is great. This is a great combination, and it's not necessarily because of the prime rib itself. The prime rib itself is good. I took a couple slices. It's kind of sliced like a dinner prime rib would be, thin slices. But it's not exactly the dominant flavor of the sandwich like you'd expect. What really dominates the sandwich is, in fact, the garlic mayo, or again, they call it garlic mayo. Usually when you add garlic, they call it aioli. I don't actually know the difference between a mayo and an aioli. Somebody could explain that to me. But that's really the dominant flavor of the sandwich, and it's what ties everything together. I think without that garlic mayo, you'd have a salty, because the meat is pretty salty, don't get me wrong, but you'd have a fairly bland sandwich without that mayo to tie it all together. Because it's great. I want to buy this garlic mayo. They should sell this in stores because it's fantastic. It's got a great overall garlicky flavor. It enhances the flavor of the steak. It lets the provolone kind of come out as well. The only real problem I have with this sandwich is the lettuce, and that's just that it's not crispy enough. I feel like, you know, the point of the lettuce in the sandwich is to get a little bit of crispness in the mix, and it's just not there. It kind of sogs really fast, which is a problem with lettuce when you put it on a hot sandwich or a burger or something like that. It wilts, it sogs, unless you get it like in the first 2 seconds that it comes out. It generally loses the crispness, which is what you're really looking for, especially when it's shredded like this. If it was like full leaves, it probably would have maintained a little bit of that texture better, but unfortunately it just kind of feels like a little bit of filler here. You don't actually really taste too much of it. The tomato though is nice. It's a nice tomato back end kind of bite. You know, when you go through it all comes together. You taste all the individual components. You taste the tomato, you taste the provolone, you taste the steak, but most of all, you taste the influence of the garlic mayo on every single one of those things. I feel like I could eat a tomato, and this sounds disgusting, but I feel like I could eat that tomato slice just dipped in this garlic mayo and I would be happy with it. So it's a great sandwich. Again, the lettuce is kind of superfluous, I would say. It's not necessary. I think it would be good if it was a little crisper, but it's just not there. The bread is great. Obviously, it's the same bread that they always put. It's white bread. You can get white or wheat or gluten-free, but it's a regular white bread. It's nothing new there. The only really new thing is the steak itself, and that's not necessarily, again, the star of the sandwich, but together it all comes together in the sandwich together in a way that I love genuinely. And I would like to buy this again. So I'm gonna have to give it a 5 for this prime rib sandwich. I love it. Firehouse Subs, you hit it out of the park, but really to me it's the garlic mayo that brought it all together. So if you're not a mayo person, don't get it, but if that sounds interesting to you, definitely try it at Firehouse Subs. Great sandwich. I'll want to get it again. I love it, and I give it a 5. So that's that, and I will see you all next time.